And
our guest this week, we've got
two in.
Diana Steinway.
Hello.
Hi, Di.
And Stephen Birkin.
Yeah, hi, Stephen.
Newman.
Yeah. Yeah, Gary Newman fan. In case you wondered. Yeah. Well, you'll find that out later on. Yeah, we're going to be asking Stephen about his musical activities because Stephen's a musician, and multi-musician and composer. I suppose. Well, we'll ask you how to define yourself a bit later on.
I'll try and have an answer for you, by the way.
But also coming up in the show today, we've also got a mixture of music today. We've got a little bit of Stephen's stuff. He's brought in 3 of his tracks for us to test out on the blind community of Sheffield. But also we've got a few mixed sort of more melodic tunes, but also by melodic, you see what I mean when it comes on, sort of traditional songs kind of thing.
Oh, is this the Barbra Streisand?
Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah, Barbra Streisand and Neil Diamond, that sort of stuff.
Oh, Neil Diamond's all right.
And
Can
what else
I
we
say,
got?
don't you like Barbra Streisand? You went Neil Diamond's okay.
We were just saying about my music scaring people. I think Barbra Streisand is just generally scary. I've seen her. She does South Park. I've seen her on there.
I must admit, she scares me a little bit. But sentiment. If only life was that simple.
I thought they murdered it on the X Factor. Absolutely murdered.
Well, they murdered all of them.
Yeah, all of it.
It did expose them in a way because those singers they have on those sort of shows can do the ballads and all this sort of stuff. They can sustain the high notes if they get towards the last top 5 or something. But when it comes to handling complicated numbers that have got lots of rocky music in, it exposed how weak some of the voices were in comparison.
It also showed what an excellent frontman Freddie Mercury is. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, did you watch it, Stephen, or do you watch it?
I don't watch it. No. I think it's what you said about murder. I think the whole show's a massacre.
Yeah, the thing is, you see, you should watch it and then slag it off and say you're never going to watch it again.
Well,
and then watch it the next week just to confirm your opinion.
Sure. I did used to watch it and then slagged it off, and I've never watched it since.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know how you can miss it. Really, it's on every channel at some point of the day.
It does
don't watch that
drives
much
me
telly.
nuts.
Yeah.
Telly doesn't interest me today. It's just too annoying.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. The programmes that do annoy me. I mean, I can put up with X Factor. It's just an entertainment show, and if you take it for what it is, it's quite funny sometimes. But the thing that really is rubbish is X Factor Plus or whatever they call it. Extra Factor. That's it. Yeah. Extra Factor. They used to have a similar one with that I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. They did have an I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here extra or something.
Putting something decent on.
Yeah, they have. Actually, that is true.
What really gets my goat now is when you can't watch a programme or you sit and watch it and you don't realise where you are in the thing, because when they first start they tell you what's going to happen later on, because they're so scared that you're going to turn telly over, which I probably would.
And after every advert you have to have a rewind of what happened in the previous section,
for God's sake,
and then what's coming
in
up
order for us.
You get about 5 minutes actual programme content.
That's true.
They
must really think. And the other thing is they jump from one story to another all the way through because they think people can only pay attention for 4 minutes.
Well, actually, the only bit I watch is that last little bit where they put on all the dancers or all the singers just before you vote. That's all you need to watch, really. And it takes about 3 minutes. So
anyway, Stephen, it's your hour of glory now. Well, all right, 20 minutes of glory.
So where did you two meet?
On a tram. On a tram. Yeah, I was just leaving. I'd been for a drink with the swimming group from SRSB, and about 4 or 5 o'clock or something like that, I jumped on the tram to go down to the railway station. I tend to spot white sticks and guide dogs. I don't recognise people anymore, but for some reason I can still tune into white canes and things. And I spotted this fairly well-dressed guy in a suit type thing and a decent coat with a white stick, and I thought, he looks far too posh to be blind. Because most blind people look as though they've been dressed by the mothers, you know what I mean? Me included. No, I'm kidding. But no, I just spotted this guy. I thought, do I know him? I thought, I don't think so. So I think I said something like, do I know you? I'm visually impaired as well, or something.
Right.
We had a little mini conversation as the tram worked its way down towards the station, and I think I gave Stephen my card and said, if you're a musician, get in touch or whatever.
That's right. Yeah, 'cause you said about radio, so you promote people's stuff.
That was it. Yeah.
Right.
Stephen says, I'm a musician, so I says, we'll get in contact with me and we'll plug you. So about 6 months ago, you came on the show, didn't you? And promoted
March,
and promoted some of your work and everything. And Stephen rang me up about a couple of weeks ago and said, I've got some more stuff. I've evolved. I've transmogrified slightly and brought some new stuff out. Would you consider promoting it again? So I said, yeah, no problem. Come on the show. So what you've got is you brought me three of your tracks, which we're going to play in a little bit. Yep. But for those people who don't know this basic situation, you're a musician and singer and composer as well, aren't you?
Yeah,
in effect.
Yeah.
Visually impaired. Are you in effect totally blind or virtually?
No, I've got RP, so I'm sort of. I do need a stick for getting about, and I do use magnification software and a little magnifier.
Right, and presumably you've got night blindness as well, have you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So so you're in a pretty bad state in terms of sight, compared with normal sight. Your eyes have deteriorated quite a lot.
Possibly.
But that said, when did you start being a musician? Was this before your eyes started, or have you always had poor
I've always had this partial RP. So when I was a kid, my mum and dad made me go to organ lessons, which at the time I hated because I wanted to be out on my bike or whatever, and all that kind of thing. Because I went to mainstream school mostly.
Yeah. This was in Doncaster, was it?
Yeah. And then, so far through, I started to teach myself guitar, and went from there. And then, don't know if more seasoned of us will remember the old Spectrums. Yep. Spectrum computers as a website. Actually, I've been playing loads of Spectrum games online recently. Brilliant. The Spectrum Plus 3, I had one of those, and that was when Amstrad took them over, and that's when it had multi-channel sound. So I did do a bit of composing on there. You know, so you only had 3 notes you can play at once and type of thing. But I did a couple of covers.
And at the time, were you concentrating purely on learning to play music? Did you ever try at that time to write any song lyrics at all, or what?
I do remember something that I did.
Yeah.
That I had forgotten about, and I think I called it the Ride of the Cowboys, and it was just sort of like a ding 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 ding, sort of like strumming sort of song. Yeah. I did that when I was about 14, and I completely forgot all about that.
Yeah.
And it was one of those days where you sort of you get 2 tape recorders, and you record your guitar bit, and then you play the other guitar into that tape recorder and add another bit, and I just used like bass on just
with normal
guitar.
I'm with you,
I did do a bit of that before I had.
It's pretty good.
Just that, I mean, it's just amazing. How old were you then when you were doing that?
When I did that, I was probably about 14, I think. But, I used to play. I played a couple of times then at my dad's when my dad used to work at it's just closing, I think, but it used to be Brook Crompton Parkinson. Round about then, they used to make in Doncaster. They used to make motors, Vidor batteries, and light fittings and stuff.
Right.
And my dad were a supervisor there for years when I was still at school, and then at works parties I used to be there at Christmas. Yeah. Playing rhythm guitar, my dad singing and what have you. Then I went to college in Hereford, Royal National College.
Oh yeah. What did you study there?
First year, just business studies. Second year, BTEC, and I was gonna be leaving at that point because I even had a job lined up at ICI at that point. And but there was a sort of an issue round the optician. Had thought my eyesight had got worse, so I stayed an extra year to do Braille, and that was the point I did GCSE music. Which I did. Let me think. That's when I started, the idea of composing and stuff like that. First time I was introduced to a 4-track. So I think when I left college, I got a 4-track for Christmas, and I started doing a lot of composing about then. Yeah. I wrote my first song. I think it was about 1989. I think. Yeah. Or was it 1990? I can't remember which. The first actual song.
Well, did you ever work with other people doing songs and music at that time, or were you fairly independent at that time?
For writing my own songs, I've always found for writing my own songs, and I don't know if you know the guy Paul Reynolds from the Rex Pistols, because he writes a lot of stuff, and we because we sort of like work day job wise in similar sort of thing. We've met up quite a lot and swap each other's discs and stuff. But he's the sort of same thing. He says that nobody really wants, when you're out there, nobody really wants to hear your new stuff. They only want to hear covers. Yeah. And the same when you're in a band. Like if I've obviously said like now I'm not in a band. I've been in bands when I was at college, and the issue I probably told you about last time about the normal band wanting me in for the sympathy vote. So even though I could play better than, I'm not a brilliant musician, but I could play a lot better than half of them anyway.
So by this time had music become your career?
I've still got my day job.
You've still got the day job.
So I mean, hopefully one day I want to make enough. I want my kind of stuff is not pop songs.